All right, let's jump on the load board this morning. It's Friday, right? But we actually gonna start looking for next week to try to see if I can predict what the freight doing. Go down to Illinois, 971 loads coming in, 1876 going out. Of course, that's for van. Take that off. Look for reefers, see what they doing. So 358, 700. Nah, I'm not too impressed with that, but hey, like I say, that's just a pretty much gauge, I guess, for me. And we gonna change this because it's on the 11th. So we gonna go Friday, but we gonna go through the 15th just to give me kind of a range. I'm more or less looking for Monday just to see what's going on. And I suggest you start looking for Monday on a Thursday, maybe. Friday morning kind of tough, but hey, do you see what we working with? All right. Here we go. Too many to list. When I did 100 miles and it's talking about too many to list. I like to see that 1861. Now we just got to check the rates. All right, all right, all right. West Virginia, TQL. We'll bypass that. Not a good example. Now, what I'm looking for, honestly, when I get on here, is two distribution centers that I know lows that go there. Like it's Walmart and it's Aldi's. So I'm really looking for those two and see what kind of rates they're offering on them because they do a lot of volume. And so basically, if they offering a good rate on the Walmart and Aldi loads, I know it kind of tell me what capacity is doing in my area. So like this Belvedere to O'Fallon, Missouri, that's a Aldi's load. I know because I know these lanes coming out of my area. And backhaul direct, they usually at $900 on this. So today, of course, it pick up today. So now they at 1150. So this Belvedere, though, I always get this wrong, and the people down there they get on me. I say Ani, they say it's only or something like that. Whatever, however you pronounce that. This is a Walmart load. Allen Lund have a bunch of these, and right now they at 1,200 on this load, and they usually at 900 to 1,000. So I think that that's a pretty good indicator as far as capacity, but they play a lot with their loads. Like I said, they got a lot of them. This one going to Louisiana, that's a Walmart load. Allen Lund get a lot of these Walmart loads. This Oklahoma, that's a Walmart load. This Wintersville, Ohio, that's a Wal. Of course, Allen Lund got that too. Let me see, 1,500 on that one, and they usually at 13. So the fact that they looking for capacity on Monday, right now is Friday, and they offering rates like $100 or $200 more than what they normally post the lows for, that gives me hope. But I ain't exactly sold. This going to Alabama, that's another Walmart load. I'm gonna assume this Clarksville, Arkansas is a Walmart load. I don't know that I've went to Clarksville, so I can't say for sure on that. But the other places I went to, so I'm pretty sure that they a Walmart load. And they starting to pay pretty good on the Walmart load. So that tell me that Walmart's pushing out a lot of their loads out of the Belvedere cold storage. And I'm not gonna be talking about the East Coast because last video I messed up talking about the East Coast. I ain't gonna do that no more. I'm just gonna keep looking and I'm gonna pay attention to the dates. And another thing I'm gonna do is if I see a company that got an email, right? I'm gonna write down this email. And the reason I do that is because I might email them and ask them what other loads that they got that ain't even on the load board, or I might email this person and ask, do they company got a load board that I can see available freight versus just always depending on the dat load board. I mean, I like the dat load board or whatever, but Let me see. Belvedere going to Jefferson, Georgia on 800 miles. They offering 2100. See, that's letting me know that, freight is slowly but surely trying to creep its way back up for whatever reasons. I'm not 100% sure just yet, so I don't want to throw nothing out there. A lot of people say that a lot of people that call themselves trucking analysts or analyze the market, they trying to say that the market's turning around. I'm not 100% sure about the market turning around just because we got a holiday coming up. So this could just be a push to get the holiday freight in stores. I'm not sold on that just yet. Another good broker who I do a lot of work with is Ease Logistics. I don't like this rate going to Vegas, but I feel like Ease Logistics, they cool. They negotiate with you on the price. I never had an issue with them as far as something coming up. I felt like they were on my side. Let me see if there's some other brokers on here that Allen Lund, depending on who you get at Allen Lund, I ain't even gonna hold you. They probably not gonna like me saying that, but it really is what it is. So I'm just scrolling back up to see if there's some other brokers. The only one I really could talk about with a great degree of confidence right now is Ease Logistics. I did a lot of loads for them. They ain't never really had no issues except, and they call me and they be like, hey, we got this lane. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. You can send it over. They like, yeah, but we got another carrier doing it for this. Can you match? Nah, I can't do that, bro. I don't compete with cheap. Go on, give it to the other carrier. I'm good. Um, McKinney, Florida, Belvid, Walmart load. London, Kentucky, Walmart load. How do I know? Cause I ran them. Salisbury, that I'm gonna say that's so. I ain't gonna say that. I've been to Salisbury on some other stuff. I think this should be closer to $3 going to North Carolina just because of the hills and stuff like that. But when I look at the rates, they not really pushing out $3 a mile yet unless you going far east. So I like to look at lows coming out of Belvedere, Illinois, and out of Rochelle, Illinois, because I'm familiar with those cold storages and the lanes that run out of those cold storages. So when I look at them prices, give you a pretty good indicator of what freight's doing in the Midwest right now. And I'm situated in a pretty good location because within 100 miles of me, it's probably 10 cold storages. So within 2 hours, I could go somewhere and get loaded if need be. So the fact that they got all these lows on the load board for next week already lets me know what capacity is doing. So it's pretty much like if they got all these lows right now, come Monday morning when the lows really hit the board, it'll probably be bananas. Now I'm not just saying the rate gonna be a high rate like what we want it to be or back where I think it should be, but it's definitely gonna be better than it's been the last few weeks. So if you watch your diesel, I think you'll start to breathe a little bit. I like you be underwater and you come up for that quick breath. You take that quick breath and you might have to go back underwater though. But I think next week gonna be fairly decent, at least for the reefer freight. Let's just look at the vans just cause. Look at van freight and then now the thing about van freight is I'm not too familiar with when I pull a van freight, it's here or there, so I'm not really too familiar with where they're delivering to as opposed to the reefer freight. So like when I see this Weberville, Michigan, I think that's going to a all these. I already know it's not coming out of Rockford. I don't even know why they posting this. I doubt very seriously it's coming out of Rockford, but it is van freight. But you know how that go. Um, Let me take a look at some brokers here that's posting van freight. I ain't too sure. They posting this 400 miles for 950. That ain't. Yeah, that's a tough one. And Sullivan, Missouri, 366 on the mile, 750. That's a tough one. That's definitely the van rates to me are. I don't even know how y'all could pull this stuff for these rates. Like Nah, first of all, well, Rockford to St. Louis, $600. I'm laughing at that. But then when I come over here and see Shram Logistics, hey, Shram Logistics, if y'all see this video, man, hey, y'all tweaking, man. Stop playing, man. Y'all need to stop. Man, the dad load board need to stop y'all from posting lows, man. No, real talk. I ain't hating or nothing like that, but man, y'all be on some. They got probably the most disrespectful, the most lying brokers that I done came in contact with. So if you work for Shram Logistics and you a good broker, man, email me, axice815@gmail.com. I want to pull a load for y'all just to see, because I'm not convinced y'all got any good brokers there. And, you know, ain't nobody sponsoring me, so say what I want to say. Loves Park to Indianapolis, 1,000. That ain't bad for a van. You ain't gonna eat steak off that, but you could eat McDonald's off that. I guess that's the best way to put it, especially if you can find you something in Indy, because you know you're gonna make about 750 on that run to the truck. 750 a day in a van trailer, that ain't too bad. You can get it on and off. See what else we got. TQL, Belvedere to Morris. They'll probably offer you like 350, 400 on that. Ain't no way. They want you to go to Florida for, man, they crazy. Let's see what else we got. O'Fallon, Missouri for South Beloit. Yeah, these some tough ones. Just based on how much fuel you gonna burn, these some tough loads. Like, you know, uh, yeah. So just scrolling through these, I'm not really that impressed with the van freight. I do see a lot of lows for vans, but again with the prices, I'm not too impressed. We gonna check flatbeds just because. Now I'm not gonna claim to be an expert on flatbeds or anything like this, but I do have a little bit of knowledge about flatbeds based on the fact that I know a couple people that work for the local flatbed companies around here. And what I do with it is I check with them. Like I call them every few days and I ask them where they company sending them and what they picking up and what they hauling. And based on that, I can kind of tell what the flatbed freight is doing, because believe it or not, these my people who work for these flatbed companies, the truck gotta do like 6 to 8 thousand a week. They make sure that truck do like 6 to 8 thousand a week. So depending on where they send them and what they hauling, I can kind of tell what flatbed is doing. And I've been checking with them, and they say they checks been down to like 11 to 12. I think 1,000 to 1,100 a week for the last few months. So that's kind of how I gauge what flatbed is doing. And look at this offer right here. Rockford to St. Louis, $1,000. So you mean to tell flatbed with tarp? So you mean to tell me that they paying almost $1,000 to go to St. Louis in a dry van, and now you offering 1,000 on a flatbed? Yeah, that math ain't mathing. It ain't mathing at all. This going up to Minnesota, this should be around 15 to 1,600 in a flatbed. And you know, because 9 times out of 10, if you from the Midwest and you go up to Minnesota, you probably coming back down with shingles. Oh, this a pretty big trucking company though, so I could see them offering cheap. And then I just look at where the flatbed loads going to. If they not going to a place Beloit the Freeport for $400, oh, okay. It's kind of heavy, but that load actually probably make a little bit of sense, man. But if it's not really going to a place where you could grab a decent load, like a coil or something like that, or grab a container and put something else with the container, you're gonna be in trouble for the flatbed. You know what I'm saying? The containers, and then you putting something with that container is gonna be your best bet once you get somewhere. A lot of people out this way, when things get slow, they start hauling a lot of insulation, and they'll bring shingles back and might have multiple stops with the shingles going to the Menards and stuff like that. But looking at these prices for the flatbed, I know I'm going fast, but I know what I'm looking for. Trust me. I'm not too impressed with the flatbed freight. I think I'm more impressed with the reefer freight. The difference between the reefer freight and the flatbed freight, though, is the reefer freight is the hurry up and wait game. At least with the flatbed, once you get there and get loaded, you got your time that you gotta secure it. But usually your delivery gonna be your delivery unless you going to a place like unless you going to Ghent where they want to take all day loading you and stuff like that. But other than that, usually and it's daytime hours, so I mean to me the flatbed is a little but they paying $1.87 to go to Waco, Texas. I don't get it. Oh, Jones Motor Group. Okay, I get it. I get it. Jones Motor Group. They up and down on their prices. You might do okay with them. You might not. So I would think as we got closer to the Chicago area that the prices on the flatbed would go down. That's why I'm not really because it's a lot of flatbeds in Chicago. That's why I try to look at freight that's on the outside of Chicago because that's really where you're gonna get the best rate. So, in between Chicago and Wisconsin, you're gonna get the best rate in the Midwest for your truck. You remember that. You know what I'm saying? That's free game. And remember, if you see an email and it's a place that's running the lane that you want, write the email down and email the person. You ain't got nothing to lose. All they could say is, oh, they could probably not respond. You know what I'm saying? But what you got to lose? If you sitting there on the load board or you a dispatcher trying to move trucks, success is found in numbers. Like every broker you call on the load, you not gonna book the load with the broker, but that doesn't mean you can't establish a relationship. Man, I just gave y'all, I don't know how many jewels I dropped in this video, but like if y'all would have took my course, y'all would have got all that in my course, and I just gave it away for free. I'm gonna have to refund them people who took my course. If you took my course, email me and I'm gonna give you your money back because I just gave out free game and I shouldn't have done that. You know what I'm saying? I apologize. So it is what it is. Hey man, it's your boy Ice Water. Look, today is Friday. Start looking for next week. Oh, and one thing I'll say about the flatbed loads. You notice about the flatbed when I did it, it only 710 results came up. It's way more results came up for the dry van and for the reefer than the flatbed. And that's a pretty good indicator of what flatbed freight doing. So I suspect that the flatbed people gonna be pulling a lot of insulation, a lot of shingles, and a lot of lumber. Like when you passing by, if you want to know what flatbed is doing, when you pass by a flatbed, look at what the person got on there. What direction they headed, and that'll let you know. Hey, I'm out of here, man. I appreciate you.